So what's going on? Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of In Conversation With. This is your boy Dre, and on the show today, I'm joined by Girls Night Unwine, Brii and Tasha. What's going on, ladies?
Hey, what's up?
How
We're
about
great.
you?
I'm doing okay. It's sunny today in Toronto, which is not something.
It's drizzling over here in
Yeah,
Orlando.
isn't that funny?
Do you guys want to trade? I'll take what is it, like 40 degrees over there right now? Like, what do you guys got?
No, it's probably at 70.
70?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking Celsius. I'm thinking Celsius.
Oh, you're thinking
Bree's
Celsius?
about to check.
Let me check right now because
It's 64.
64. So what would that
it
be?
doesn't
So
even
you
feel
guys,
like it. It doesn't even feel like it though. The
Yeah.
rain is what kind of like
Yeah.
is taking it.
so what I've learned is that Celsius and Fahrenheit is a difference of 32 degrees. So whatever your 32 is our zero. So you're at 64. So that would be
Yeah.
like 30. That would be like 32, I guess, for me. I hope that math is right. I'm terrible at math.
We have no idea. We never.
We're terrible at math. We don't even look at it like that. I just have mine on Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So,
That's the actual conversion though. So it's
Yeah.
so we're at, what is it right now? I'm at it's -1. So -4, sorry. So it's 28 degrees for you guys. 28 degrees Fahrenheit.
you would
Yeah.
die.
I was dying. I was literally like,
Listen, I don't mind the cold. I'm from New York. I'm
Okay.
used to that weather, so I don't mind this. But her,
here, it's
no,
like the.
she's a Floridian.
Listen, okay,
She's a
the
Floridian.
cold here is wet. It's wet cold. It's like when literally you get out of the shower and then you step outside. That's how cold it gets to your bones.
Okay. So it's damp. So just so I get it right, Brii, you're from New York.
Yes.
Tasha, you're from Florida.
I'm from yes.
Hold on, what was that? Hold on, what was that?
I could add more to it, but
She's
you know
like
what? No
trying
one
to
cares about
clarify.
Florida. No one cares about Florida. It's just plain Florida if you're from Florida. In New York, it's like Queens. I'm from Brooklyn. Here, it's just like doesn't matter. You're from Florida.
So Brii, where in New York you from?
Queens.
Queens, Mob
Yep.
Deep,
Yep.
Nas.
Yep. That's my motherland right there. That's my motherland.
That's your mother.
Definitely brings that flow to Girls Night Unwine. Definitely.
Yeah, I do.
Like you can tell. Like this
Sometimes she'll bring it out of me. Like the conversation's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna act like this. I don't even realize that I do it after she says
yeah,
it.
I'm like, girl, like your New Yorker side is showing. We're Floridians. Like we can't. No.
I love this because I'm from Toronto, as you know, and
Yeah.
a lot of people, when they come to Toronto from New York, from wherever, they say that Toronto is basically a cleaner New York.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I've never been to Canada, but I would agree.
That's
things so I could agree to that.
I mean, Toronto is. I've traveled a lot. I've been to as far as Amsterdam, and Toronto was to me one of the best cities I've ever been to. I mean, I live here, so I'm a little bit biased, but I think
Yeah.
Toronto's amazing. It's got everything.
We wanted to go to Canada too, right?
Yeah, we've been wanting to
Yeah,
go.
we've been wanting to go.
The last 4 years, we're like,
I
with
know,
everything
we're like-
going on in the U.S. government, we're like, I think we're gonna move to Canada
Yeah,
at
let's
this
go to
point.
Canada because over there they got their stuff together.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like I agree with you, but like
it's not Florida. I'll tell you that. It's not. We don't got George Zimmerman over here, but it's
you guys don't got Trump either. Because Trump moved on.
we don't got.
Yeah.
We don't have Trump either, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mind the cold, if you don't mind it being a little bit cold,
Yeah.
we get like 3 months of summer.
You guys
And-
have humidity?
It's very humid, very humid. It's
Oh,
like New York. It's like New York.
Yeah.
So whatever you experienced in New York from a climate perspective, it's like that here in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Oh snap! I'm gonna die. Thanks. Take some heads
Hey, put on a nice parka.
up. God.
Yeah. That's what they're called.
Put on a nice parka, and you're good to go. You ever watch Sex in the City?
Yeah.
There you go.
That wasn't my show, but like
Little
I mean,
Carrie
well-
Bradshaw? No? Okay, just me? All right.
I'm surprised you have watched it. Nice.
Well, hey, you know what? When you're dating, you watch whatever the girl watches. That's pretty much how
Oh, okay. I get it now.
agree with
I
that.
get it now.
I've watched a couple episodes. I've watched the movie. I watched the sequel. Carrie, what is it? What's her name? Samantha. She finally got her closet. She finally got the walk-in.
Harry got her closet.
Harry, she finally got the closet. You know, Mr. Biggs gave it to her, and all of that. You know, I know the storyline. I'm good. Not proud of it, but whatever.
Sacrifice and compromise.
Exactly. I still haven't found a woman that wants to watch UFC with me. So if you know anybody in Florida, let me know.
You used to be that girl.
Not UFC. Oh, no. I watched wrestling, WWE,
just
and stuff like
wrestling,
that.
okay.
I did watch UFC for like when CM Punk started.
Oh my God.
Like when he started to get into it, I watched it, but other than that, I really don't watch it as much. I mean, I hear about it, but don't put me out there. Like, give me wrong information.
I don't know the difference. They're like the same.
Well, this is good. This is good because I want to talk to you guys about, you know, dating and relationships and things like that a little bit later on in the show. But before we get there, let's talk about Girls Night Unwine.
Absolutely.
Girls Night Unwine, the podcast. Tell me a little bit about it. How did you guys get started? I want to tell you guys what I like about the show, but let me find out how you guys thought about this, how you get started. What's the show about for anybody who hasn't heard of it?
Well, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while now.
Yeah, she's the mastermind.
I mean, I love listening to them, and it was just like, you know, how do you do one? Like I've seen a few people who've done it just by themselves. I'm like, how do you do it?
And I became obsessed with Ricky and Denzel's podcast, and I was just like, oh, they're starting a podcast. They started like 2020, so I was like, oh snap.
Yeah,
I really like this. Like, I really like just listening. I never normally I would watch like with my eyes.
Yeah, and then I mentioned it to her one night. I was just like, yo, like I found this app on TikTok that people do their podcasts on, and I'm like, it looks easy. And then she was like, you want to do it?
And I was very like persistent. I was like, either we do it right now or we're not doing it.
Yeah, because it was like late December.
Yeah.
So we were on fall break from school, like winter break from school. And it was just like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this now. So within 2 weeks, we got everything started.
Yeah.
Like, because she made the art, she did the business side of it. And you know what I mean? I was trying to get the app done, all that stuff, like the social media platforms. We were trying to get all that stuff done. But within 2 weeks, we got everything together. And she was the one that came up with the first idea, like do the vision board. You know, we're coming up on a new year.
Yeah.
Like, let's do a vision board and let the first episode be about that. And that's just how it all came about.
Yeah, our podcast is pretty much like a funny type, you know, like everyone just tune in with your glass of wine and come chill out with us. You're doing your homework, put us on, or, you know, just like working. You want to hear a laugh real quick. Because we've been best friends for over 7 years.
This year will be 8 years.
8 years. And so we have a lot that we are.
It's about like, we talk about everything and anything. Like that's usually girls' night conversations anyway. So it was just like, let's bring our conversations out on the podcast.
We're pretty entertaining.
Especially when you get some wine in us.
Exactly. We have some nights where we drink a little bit too much, or me, because I'm like a lightweight. So I'm just like, I'm surprised we don't have wine right now, but
yeah, where's the wine? I was expecting a little. It's white wine you guys like to drink, right?
Well, yes, we drink a lot of white wine. Yeah, but I think for today we were gonna do this peach dessert wine and everything, but we didn't get a chance to pour it out yet.
So we didn't have a chance.
If you want right now, I mean, I have sparkling water. That's what I got. I don't have any wine. I have some Hennessy. I mean, we could do a Hennessy wine thing. It's a little early. I know it's a little early in the day, but.
I mean, we are talking about dating.
I mean, my filter will be the same with or without.
I change a little bit.
You change a little bit.
I'm one of those.
No, but basically, we just took our, you know, with everything going on, we barely have time to hang out, like physically, to actually be together. So when we do, it's like I'll catch all of everything. Like, how's life going? You know, how school's going? Like, you know, what's going on in the world right now? Like, everything's such a catch-all. So the podcast, we're like, okay, let's talk about anything and everything. Like, that's just what it was.
We start the podcast out off like catching up with one another, and then we jump into our first segments, and then we play our little party game. Never have a.
Would you rather?
I always. I don't know. We were supposed to play Never Have I Ever.
Maybe.
But we always play Would You Rather at the end. And that's normally like, I learn stuff about this girl. I'm like,
I learned stuff about you too.
Still, like, would rather that? Like, what the heck? Oh my God.
She judges me. She's like, wait, what?
Really? Like, I'll be like, hold on, pause this podcast. Are you serious?
True. But yeah, this is how we are in real life. Like, what you hear on the podcast,
That's what you get.
that's who we are together. So it's fun.
And can I be honest with you guys really quickly? Is there's a lot of podcasts out there, and there's a lot of podcasts with like 2 women, 2 men, 2 girls and a guy, 2 guys and whatever it is. What I like about your podcast is that I feel like I'm in the relationship. I feel like I'm there with you. Like I feel like I know you. It's inviting, it's warm, it's innocent. You guys go to the zoo. You guys do stuff? You guys go to the zoo? You guys go to the zoo? Like what? And you talk about your first fight. I love that stuff. And by the way, Tasha, I'm not mad at you for falling asleep.
Oh,
I'm not mad at you for falling asleep. I'm just gonna say I have friends that have been there and that have done the same thing. And what I like is that like Brie, you understood. You're like, she's probably just sleeping.
No, when you're friends with someone for so long, and you spend so much time with them.
And I was working overnights, yo. Like,
I knew what was gonna happen.
She knew what was gonna happen.
I knew what was gonna happen.
But it just sucks that we couldn't prevent it, from happening.
But like we said, it needed to happen for us to like value each other.
Exactly.
So it's
right.
crazy.
It was a petty fight, but it was like necessary. Yeah. And everyone has their petty fights. Like that's nothing new.
And we argue on a daily basis, but to actually have like a fight, that was something.
Fights are healthy.
Yeah.
Fights are healthy in relationships, and the fact that you guys are fighting, I don't even really call it a fight. I just call it a misalignment, a disagreement, a miscommunication.
I like that.
I'll take that from you.
It sounds very professional.
That workplace.
That's what it is though. Like 90% of fights, let's call them fights, quote unquote, are just misalignments. It's like you had an expectation, Brie, Tasha, you had another expectation, and that was it. You guys didn't align earlier on in the day about, okay, so I'm going to check in at this time. I'm going to talk to you this time. We're going to, whatever it was. And you just didn't align. That's all. You had different expectations. That's all it is. But the fact that you guys had it shows that you actually care about the relationship and you care about each other, and you wanted to find a common ground. You wanted to like get to a point where you both understood each other and you're like, okay, cool, now we can move forward. Whereas some other people, like my sister, gets to fights with her friends and they just stop talking. And that's it.
For us to stop talking to one another, it's really big, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's really
like you must have went a little bit too far.
Yeah.
You must have stole my man.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Really? All right, guys, I'm coming out.
Not only are we being recorded, but we're video recording.
This is how we are on our
So
on
you're
our
gonna
podcast.
they're gonna see my reaction and what I deal with.
And this is how we are.
Just like on the Wild Safari, she's like, "Great, if I drop my phone in the damn alligator, I'm gonna go get it." I'm like, this bitch is crazy. No.
I was having a little bit too much fun that day.
Clearly.
I loved it.
But yeah, it's just when you know somebody for so long, you just know them at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I'm still learning new things about her, but it's like when you learn their routine and their habits, like I already know what's gonna happen.
Right. And look, I've had friends, guys are, I don't know, tell me what you think about this. I think guys are different. Guys in a platonic in a platonic relationship, guys are different, right? Like I've had friends for 14 years, 10 plus years, however long. And I just in that scenario has happened to me. There's one friend that I have where I was supposed to come pick him up. We're going to a wedding. Okay. I'm downstairs. He knows I'm supposed to come and pick him up. We're going to go. The wedding is about an hour drive. Okay. He's not answering his phone. I'm downstairs. I'm waiting. I'm buzzing him. I'm calling. He's not answering his phone. Maybe 20 minutes later, he answers the phone. We're already late. He answers. I go upstairs. He's not ready. He hasn't showered. He hasn't ironed his clothes, nothing. We end up he gets in the car. He has only pants. He doesn't have a blazer. He doesn't have a button up. We end up having to go to a Walmart. He buys his clothes, rips it out of the packaging. That's what he wears to the wedding. And like, I'm ready to go. I'm all ready. And it's just, this is just who he is. This is just who he is. And yes, I'm pissed. Yes, I'm annoyed, but it's like, all right, man, let's just go. Let's just get going. I feel like guys maybe are a little bit different in that sense, where we just kind of, it happens and we just kind of let it go or whatever it is. Like we just kind of process things quickly and move on. Whereas maybe female friendships, there's a little bit more of an expectation there. There's a little bit more of it's more of like, this is how I'm feeling. How could you not feel this way? How could you not understand where I'm coming from? I feel like that. Am I wrong? Like, what do you guys think?
We always say that friendships are just like
relationships without the romance. Like that's
exactly.
how I classify it, as being best friends. Like we're sometimes like a coworker of mine told me that like her best friend, like they call each other babe and boo, and her boyfriend was just like,
okay,
you guys realize that you guys do that? And I'm like, yeah,
right.
It's just best friends. Like female best friends are just like relationships without the romance and all that stuff. So that's how I always classify it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I don't like being late to things. I really don't. That's the one pet peeve
she is
of
always
mine.
on time.
I'm always on time.
Like before the time. Like
I'm
10 minutes.
10, 15 minutes before the time.
She's like,
that's
I'm on my way. I'm like, girl, you still got 30 minutes.
Like, I'm sorry, if we got things to do and it's that time and we gotta go somewhere, especially like if I had to drive an hour to go somewhere.
Yeah.
No, you gotta be ready at this time. Be ready.
I've been good so far.
Now you've been good, but back then, like last year, no. Like sometimes you tell her a time and she knows the time way in advance, and I make plans way in advance. Like if it's like, okay, today's Saturday. If we have plans next Saturday, I'll let you know. Like, hey, you want to hang out next Saturday? So you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
No. Her, she on some different time. She on the Jamaican time. Jamaican time.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Brii, is Tasha made y'all late today. Is that what you're saying? Because you guys are like what, 5 minutes? 5 minutes.
Let me take the heat for this. Like, God,
I'm not lying to anyone. Yes, he brought it up. I didn't, but I'm just
I listen. Okay, we had a lot to do today. We both had a lot to do today. She was with me the entire time.
No, I was not with you because you were supposed to be at my house at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And what time did you come? 11:30.
But still, what time did we start? 1 o'clock. So you were with me for a whole hour.
He brought it up.
I'm just hey look. I just saw some inconsistencies, and I thought I would just say, hey, I thought you like to be on time all the time.
One of the downfalls of working with someone.
Hey, working with somebody.
She wouldn't work with anybody else. That's for sure.
That's true.
Like true. She says she doesn't like it, but
I mean that's the only downfall. That's the only downfall of working with you. But other than that, I enjoy it. I truly.
But most of the time is at my house, so
I'm there.
We're never late because she's coming over.
Yeah. This time I was like, okay, nobody's really home. I'm like, you come here.
Yeah.
So.
Growing pains. You guys will figure it out.
Yeah, we will.
You guys are figuring it out, and I'm sure you'll do it in front of everybody. Because that's one of the things I like about your show. I know it's a young show, but one of the things I like is that you guys really let us in. It feels like you're being yourselves, your authentic selves, and that's something that a lot of podcasts don't have. I think it's starting to change. I think people are starting to realize, like, wait a second, the way to be successful is to like be ourselves. And,
I think when you don't script it, we don't script our segments. Like in terms of like, oh, like let's talk about this. And like we have our topics, like this is what we're gonna talk about today, but the conversation itself
is not scripted.
That's not scripted. It cannot be scripted.
Exactly. And it can go anyway, and we'll go there.
Like we'll make mistakes on the podcast and we'll leave it because like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like you know, so it's just like we're not gonna script that. We're being ourselves.
Yeah.
So
and oh well.
Exactly. And because of the transparency and because of how well you guys know each other, and speaking of script, like I don't really script my shows, but I do write them. And when I say I write them, I mean, I just think about, okay, what are some things because my show is a little bit different. It's not like I'm here with anybody else or I'm going to talk about the same thing all the time. My show is more like it's an extension of who I am as an individual. And I want to talk about me. Not really talk about me, but the things that I'm interested in. And I want to pull people in that I think can help generate a good discussion about those things. So I had a conversation about entrepreneurship, and I had a conversation about finding your passion, and I had a conversation about, mindfulness and vulnerability. And today I want to talk to you guys about dating and relationships and love and things like that. And especially being two females, what do guys not know? That's one of the things that I want to jump into as well, because there's a lot. I thought I figured it out. I thought I had women figured out, but then every time I think I got you guys figured out, you guys got a nice little curveball waiting for me. And I'll just like, why can't it just be simple? Why can't it just be simple? Why can't you guys just?
And you guys aren't simple either. No. Like, girl,
Here we go.
As much as you are.
Yeah.
Like. I can't tell you how
like,
many.
let's get into it. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
for real. Like,
Here we go.
oh.
Here's the thing. Here's where I want to start with this discussion. I'm really glad that you guys are here for me, and this is maybe where the wine would come in. Have the rules of dating changed? And let me elaborate. I feel like, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm born in 86, so I'm 35 this year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like dating before maybe 10 years ago, pre-social media, there was a lot more courting, but it wasn't just courting from the guy's perspective. It was courting on both sides. You did things because you understood, like, I want this person to like me. So I'm going to take time to get to know them. I'm going to take time to really listen and pay attention. And I'm going to give as much as I'm expecting. Now I feel like, because we have Tinder, we have Bumble, we have Hinge, we have Coffee Meets Bagel, whatever else there is. There's more. That's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's an app.
It's an app.
It's an app. They name it. They call it anything.
They're giving up on everybody.
Yeah, and who knows? There's going to be more. There's like plenty of fish. There's all these apps. I feel like because of these apps, there's so many options. And if you run into something that you don't like about a person, you just move on to the next person instead of building, instead of like growing with that individual. What do you guys think? Tell me. That's what I think. I think dating has changed. What do you guys think?
I think it has changed the way you're saying it, because, you know, you're in your 30s, we're in our 20s. Like, there is the difference in the age. But when you're talking about how it was for you and how it is now, even in our high school days. Yeah, it has changed, because
it's changed a lot. Like, you guys, I think, have it way better than we do.
Like, you guys, what are you, like 19? Like, how old are you?
No, I'm 25. Back to 26.
And I'll be 25 in March.
Okay,
she's literally like a 10.
We're not. Yeah, I mean, it's a 10. Yeah.
My sister, she was she's about to be 32, and she's all like, Tasha, like, I don't know how y'all be doing things nowadays, because now you guys have Tinder. We didn't have Tinder when I was. But
you know what? I would rather be in how he talked about it back then. Like,
I know,
you got to know someone.
Exactly.
That, like, now it's just
it's
the dating rules have changed.
Like,
it truly has.
And no one puts, like, it's not like no one puts up with anything. It's no one's like willing to go through the fire for you no more. Like, it's
or
like,
work through whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't check off that box, it's like you just dip.
Exactly. And it's so easy, like, because there will be another.
And it's just like, it's so easy just to dip. Then back then it would just be like, okay, maybe this could work.
I mean,
maybe not.
It's not like I have a lot of options. I feel like back then you didn't really have a lot of options. Like, my sister, like, her husband was not her first choice. Like, she did not like her husband at all. I know she didn't.
I hope he knows that. I hope he knows that, because he's gonna find out.
But she knows. She has told Sid that, like, you were my first choice. But, like, the fact of the matter is that he was there, he was present, he was not giving up. You know what I mean? Like, and slowly he made her like him. And now they have a kid, you know what I mean? Like, they're living their lives right now. She's like, Tasha, just no one else. Like, I'm so happy that we worked through our troubles and we actually, like, made it work, because had it been now, there's no way my sister would have been with him. Absolutely not.
I could agree with that.
Like, absolutely not. Because, like, I'm gonna find some other guy. Because, like, I remember my sister, when she was doing online dating, you didn't even see the face. Like, it was like the name.
Yeah.
And, like, we don't know who you're talking to.
No, I think it has changed. I think that with all these dating apps, there's literally an app or a website for anybody at this point.
People drop you, ghost you. So, ghosting's so easy. I'm guilty of it. I'm pretty sure Bree's guilty of it too. And it's just so easy. Like, oh, I don't like you. No closure, no nothing. Bye.
And you never met them in person, so it's just like, it's easy just to be like block or
whatever. And they, to be honest, it's like, I feel like emotionally damaging, because now, you know, a lot of young people are now having trouble with communicating now, and like the fact that everything's online and stuff like that, and then people are ghosting, people are, you know, doing really messed up things, and it's just ruining us before we even begin. So it's like,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about communication, because we said in the beginning of this conversation, you guys got into your fight. It's just a misalignment. It's communication issues. I think we're in the same generation. You guys are just on a different different spectrum of the generation. But, you know, I grew up without technology, and then I was adapted to it. And I think you guys maybe were more used to it by the time you were 16. Like, when I was 16, nobody had a cell phone.
Yeah.
But I think everyone had cell phones when you guys were 16.
Yeah.
I grew up with, the AOL and the dial up with the computers. Like you had to wait till the internet connected. That's what I grew up with. And then it wasn't really till middle school, that's when I really got a phone.
Yeah.
Like 7th grade is when I got my actual phone. 6th grade I had a prepaid phone, but 7th grade is when I actually had a phone. And so I grew up in the beginning, but then when you got to middle school, it was just like, all right, I'm already advanced in technology now.
Yeah.
And
see, middle school for me was like Tamagotchis and nanos and Pokemon cards.
Tamagotchis.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a gap, I guess, right? Yeah. But there are still some things that we can relate to. So we're talking about communication, and you guys mentioned that you're both guilty of ghosting. I ghosted a girl. I didn't really want to. Like, I don't like to ghost people. I'd rather just tell you straight up, like, hey man, I'm not into this or whatever it is. But she knew I wasn't into her, like whatever. Why do you think communication is or is it a lack of communication now, or has it just changed? Are we communicating differently? And how do you think that factors into dating now?
I think it all begins in what your intentions are and what are you looking for. Yeah. Because on these dating apps, people are looking for different things. Both men and women and everybody else are guilty of it. It's like, okay, I'm going to go on this dating app to hook up with somebody. Or just
there's a lot of hooking up.
Friends with benefits, or some people are actually looking for relationships. So I think first is the intention. Like if you want to be like, hey, let's be friends first, then maybe work up towards something. Okay, just be flat out and honest. But when I was on it, there wasn't a lot of that. It was just like
a lot of quick.
It was kind of like, oh, do you want to meet up tonight?
Yeah.
Or what are you doing Saturday night?
Exactly.
Like we can hook up or chill. Like I'm in town. That was the one thing I hated. They weren't even in our area, and they were like,
I'm in town for one night.
Like let's meet up.
Like, what do you think? Like that's clearly a hookup.
And the one thing I dealt with during the dating apps, you're talking to someone for like a few days, and they're like, oh, can you send me like a nude pic? And I'm like,
whoa, I just wasted like a month on you.
A month?
No, you a month. I like in a few days, they're like, oh, can you send me a nude? Or within the first hour, like I'm like, okay, we clearly have different intentions going on here.
But the thing is lying. I think lying is like such a big thing on the dating app. It's like, why don't you just come up and be upfront and say what you want? You know what I mean? I might be into it and I might not. You know what I mean? Like, but you would know, won't know until you say it. And then you waste your time.
You already
could have been with somebody who's willing, to actually hook up. You know what I mean?
But you never know. But I think that's just the one thing, your intention, and that's when communication falls into play. But I like to be now, like I haven't been on dating apps for a long time now because I stopped it. But if I was to do it now, I think my intentions would be flat out honest. Like, oh, if I don't like you, I don't like you. If I don't see a connection there, or like, I think I would just be upfront and honest. Because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste my time.
I want to go back to something that you said, Tasha, a little while ago. You said you were talking about your sister, and you were saying options. Now there's options. Back then there weren't as many options. Why are options important when it comes to dating?
I don't think they're good at all, having options. Like, because it makes you stray away so easily. Like,
okay.
If I have like 10 guys on my phone, like literally like calling me up saying, hey, and there's one in there, just one that actually gives a damn about me, and we're talking, but I have other people talking. I'm not going to pay attention to you that much, especially if everyone's fine. You know what I mean? And so having a lot of options really does distract you. And like a lot of people who are real, they want consistency. They want you to call them, make sure to, text them in the morning, text them at night. And you can't be on that if you have so many options, so many people to like, talk to. It's just, you get sloppy. I've been caught up.
So less options is better. Brii, what do you think?
It narrows it down.
I'm with her because I've been through that too. Like at one point I was talking to multiple guys at one time, and it was like one guy who was good, and then it's like like she said that you're getting messages back and forth from everybody. So it's like you kind of get really sloppy. And it's just like you can focus on one person, and then if they make one mistake or they say something wrong,
you're just like,
then you're like
back burner.
And it's just like, you're on the back burner. I can go to the next guy.
Exactly. You don't even like try to repair it. You're just like, that's how you are? All right.
Well, I got other options. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
because my sister had more options, she would not be with Sid at all. I just know that for a fact. Like, absolutely not.
I'm not gonna say nothing. I can't judge.
I know you can't say nothing.
I can't judge my sister. I can't judge nobody.
Because options mess you up. It really does. And to be honest, like Sid's the best person for her and everything. So I just know having options, having too many options, will stray you away from the person you belong with. Not saying that he's not like a great guy. It's just I would have strayed her away from a good person.
It would have made her blind to
to a good person. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to take another stance on that. I think options are great. I think options are a good thing. And the reason why I think options are a good thing is because options teach you what you really want, right? So for example, you're at a buffet. There's only 3 options at one buffet, and the other buffet, there's 10 options. There's a little bit of carbs, there's some meat, there's some vegetables, there's some grains. You at least can try a little bit of all of these different little things. And then you can find out, you know what? I love carbs, or I hate carbs, or I love macaroni and cheese, or I love chicken, or I hate beef, or whatever it is. But at least now you know, because you've got a sample size of all these different things. If you only had 3 or 2 options instead of 10, yeah, sure, maybe your focus is a little bit narrow, and maybe you can think about, well, maybe I don't need that, and maybe I don't need that, and maybe I don't need that. But how do you really know unless you've actually gotten it? So for me, and this is the what I want to segue into, when it comes to dating apps, I don't have a ton of experience on dating apps. I actually kind of hate them. I think they're inauthentic. I think people are not real on dating apps. And I for me, when I get onto a dating app, I just want to get to know the person as quickly as possible. I date with a purpose.
Yeah.
I date intentionally. I don't just talk just because I'm bored. I don't need that kind of intention. I don't need that for my ego. So for me, I like to keep my options open and talk to not very many people. I'm not some guy that could talk to like 10, 15 girls at a time. That's just insane. But maybe like 5. And then when I get to 5, okay, great. I connect with all of these women on some level. Let's see where this goes. And then I can maybe date one, or go out with one, or talk to one, or text one. And then I can just kind of see what this looks like in a week, what this looks like in 2 weeks. And then the ones that we connect, obviously I'm going to keep talking to them, and the other ones, they'll fall off eventually.
No, I see.
I see where you are.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Why you would think that? Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see nothing wrong with what you said.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Like having options. Yeah, I would totally. There's like good and bad.
Yeah, and I think what it is that we were so young when we did the dating app. So it's like now we're like grown, I guess you can say, or adults. Like we know what we're looking for. We know what we want. Like we know we don't want to mess around.
Yeah.
But anybody,
I guess having those options made it very clear, like what we want and everything. But I just know that like it gets messy if you're not, on it. Like it gets really bad.
Yeah, because to me,
yeah, you have to be like to juggle 5 girls, and then you're all talking about stuff, and then if you're talking about deep stuff with all 5 of them, like, oh snap, you remember?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, is that like not all 5 of these girls will be able to talk. Will be able to speak about the same level of depth that you'll want to be able to, right? Like you'll just connect better with some people, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure, Brii, you connect with certain guys more than other guys, right? And it's just like you're at a certain frequency, and of these 5 guys, if we're using that as an example, maybe 2 of them are at your level of your frequency, and then so the other 3 you'll just fall off eventually, because they'll know you like, just like I know when I'm talking to a girl, like, okay, there's nothing here. Right? Like you'll know, like, okay, there's nothing here. So I'm just gonna keep talking to Mike or whatever it is, whatever their names are. I don't know what Florida guys' names are.
No, I see your standpoint. It's something, and I think that's what it is now. And I think that's why we're doing this, because we get your perspective, you get ours. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we learn off of each other. It's like, okay. Yeah. Like, but no, I don't see nothing wrong with how you do
I didn't know that, like, I guess you're saying like, you're saying beginning of the whole stage of like dating apps, have like you're first saying hi to everybody, and you just have that 5. I'm saying like once you like connect, I guess, and then you start dating them, going out on dates, and then you have 5 when you're at that level, not like texting level. You know what I mean? Actually like on the phone talking, but you have 5 people you got talk and text.
You just don't like the juggling.
I don't like the juggling at all.
You just don't like the juggling.
That's like insane.
That's cool. Let's I want to know more about your past, your dating history. You guys, to me, I mean, I just met you guys, seem very lovely, you seem very nice. But I'm curious about what is your relationship history? What's your dating past like? Have you been in a lot of relationships? Not many. What's that like?
Well,
You want to go first?
Let's start with Tasha. Let's start with Tasha.
Yeah, let's go first.
Well, to be honest, I date a lot. Like I haven't been in like a serious relationship since high school. Like literally like nothing to be really called like a real relationship. Dating has been like my whole thing for the last, I think, over 5 years or whatever. And pretty much it has been up and down. I had like really like strange dating like occurrences that's happened. Like the last guy I've dated like died. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things, and all those things has like molded me, because I really like, when I reflect on that relationship, I'm just like, wow, you were actually the guy I wanted. Like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Because he really did have those qualities that I was looking for and everything. But like, things happen for a reason. I hope, you know what I mean? And really has like shaped me like mentally. And just like, we both have done the dating app type thing. We both have met people on there, and it's just always been like in a dating feel. And I think because we've been so busy and we've both been like really focusing on ourselves, because we're really like independent women and everything. So we haven't had a chance to really like, wow, like you like have that connection to the point where it's like, all right, we're gonna be exclusive. Like we're gonna just me and you. You know what I mean? It's just always have been something. I don't want to say it's always been him, but it's always been him. Like, oh my God.
Let's stay there. Let's stay there. Let's stay there. Why has it always been them? Why has it always been the guy? What's happened? Like, give me some scenarios. What's happened?
Okay, so before the last person I dated and everything,
last person you dated,
I would say that he was a little bit of a tool.
Okay.
He was like always like a gym type person, and he had like a really like what do you call it? Those personalities that are just like, wow, you know what I mean? Like really like fun, but like he didn't mind saying whatever he wanted to say. Like he did not care. Like
no
I don't
filter
care of me,
no filter,
that kind of thing. And I thought he only did that with other people, not with me. You know what I mean? Like, he'll say whatever he wants to others, because he was really good looking, so I was gonna give him a chance and everything. And when it started seeping into our conversations, him saying whatever he felt like if I was saying something wrong, he was like, I don't like being like corrected unless you're like my best friend. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I'm like, okay, now you're making me sound like I'm stupid, like at this point. And it's like, that's kind of things like seeking into your relationship. So it stopped me from wanting to be exclusive with him. Actually, I wanted to block his number. Like he was very like, oh, what, you're not going to talk to me anymore? Oh, what, like, what happened and everything? I'm just like, dude, I'm ghosting you. Bye.
Now, going back to the communication topic, did you tell him how you felt about what he was saying?
So I have, and I literally was blunt, but he fought me on it. Like, I'm trying to remember what the conversation was. And I think I told you, Brie, that he was like, I forgot what exactly I think he was just being too blunt with me. And we had to like shut him down and let him know. Oh, okay, I remember now. So I was taking photos and I was doing it with filter on. It's something petty, like literally. And he was like, why do you keep using filters and everything? You need to stop and everything. And he's just had this whole rant. I was like, well, dude, it's just a filter. I can literally take this off right now. Like, it's not that serious. So I had to let him know, like, okay, that was a really dumb thing to get mad at me about. And he was like, I don't understand, really fought me on that. I was like, dude, you're really taking this like to heart. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Brie, what you think about that? Guys telling girls what they should do or not do with their filters or whatever it is.
Well, here's the thing. I'm always the type of person to see things from both sides. So in that instance, I can understand why he was like that. Like, okay, I just want to see you. Why are you putting a filter on? Like, I want to see what you look like. But I think there was a different way he could have said it, different way to like deliver it. Like if it was me, I'd just be like, hey, could you, like, I don't, like, why are you doing the filter? Like, just actually have the communication. Like, why are you doing filter? Like, I've seen you. I like who you look like. Like, why are you doing that? But it was just like the way he delivered it. I'm like,
It was
Why
like, okay, red flags. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna get mad
about
this.
filter. What else are you gonna get mad
Like,
at?
I'm like, you know, a type of person who gets in trouble. You know what I mean? Like I always do something. You know what I mean? And it's just like, dude, I need a legit kind person to actually like be able to understand. Like, okay, Tasha's just being Tasha. You know?
I get that. Thank you for sharing that. Brii, what's your experience? We haven't really talked about, I mean, you mentioned that you've had a couple experiences on the apps, but I'm interested in what your history is like. And if you got any stories, if you got any interesting stories like that happened with Tasha. I mean, I'll share some with you guys too, but you know.
well,
you better.
It's my show. I mean, I'll do, you know.
He has to. No, with me, I started dating apps in high school because everybody else was doing it.
Yeah, it's really hot.
It's the thing to do, man. It's the thing to do.
It was a thing back in the day, and then everybody, I wasn't friends with anybody. I had like a small group of friends, but outside of that, you walk around and everybody's in a relationship with somebody.
Yep.
And it was just like, okay, let me reach out. And I've always, I've been on the Tumblr, Hinge and Bumble and all those stupid apps like Meet Me and all that stuff. Like I was always on those apps and I was always talking to guys and I would talk to them. And then, like I said, they would ask those stupid things like, oh, send me a nude or let's hook up. And those like things that I was not looking for. So I was off and on throughout high school. And then when I started college, got back on it. And
you went on a couple of dates.
I've met like four guys. I've met four guys. Like out of the whole dating thing, I've met four guys in person. The first one was clearly a freaking mistake.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember.
So I was 19. And I was visiting in New York. I was in New York, and around that time, I was talking to a guy, and we were cool. Like he was consistent with everything. Like even at work, he was like texting me and all that stuff. Like it was consistent, and he would send pictures, so I knew it was him. And that was this big thing, like especially people who didn't have profile pics or they had one picture, and that's
a red flag, by the way. If you have one picture,
like
done.
Why do you not have one picture? Like you only have one picture. So, but he was really consistent, and we were talking for a while. And then I was in New York for my cousin's 216, and he was like, "Oh, like we should meet up." And I was flying back home early because of school, so my family was still back in New York. So I'm like, "This is the perfect time. I don't have to explain myself to anybody." So I was like, all right, let's meet up. So I told my friends because they had to know just in case something went wrong.
Yeah.
They actually followed me.
Yeah, we had to follow her because that was like
my first time
met someone online. So we're like, you gotta be mommy.
Yeah, so I had we met at a Starbucks. So they were sitting outside. So I met him and it was fine. Like we were talking, all that stuff. We spent a little bit of time. And I don't know why we decided to go somewhere else.
I know they vanished. And we were like, oh, wait a second. I took my eyes off them for 1 second. And all of a sudden this chick is gone.
And he had his own car. I had my own car. I don't know why we left. I don't know why we left.
I want to know too.
We end up in a CVS.
I want to know too, actually.
I don't remember. This was years ago.
No, like
years ago. I can't remember why we left.
But y'all,
Starbucks.
Y'all were having a good time.
And I'll flat out admit it. I was 19. I never kissed anybody.
Okay.
Like I was just like, I just wanted to be kissed at this point. So we ended up in a CVS parking lot and we were just hanging out. Like outside, we were outside and we were just hanging out and he kissed me. And then we ended up in the back of his car making out.
Listen, we ended up.
Listen, she wanted to get this experience over with. Like
I was 19. I was like, I was young and I made stupid decisions. I actually regret that.
And he honestly, like, you thought he was all good, but he smoked.
And
you said that
I don't like
it. And
I don't like that because my dad and my grandfather were heavy smokers, so I grew up with that, and I hate it. And
not like like cigarettes, like that's a different.
Yeah. So we were made out in his car, and
girl came home because she drove home after that, and we come and we meet you at your house, and
you guys were calling me.
Yeah, we were calling you crazy.
Like my phone was buzzing, and I was like, "Wait a minute! Like I have to hold on! Like who was calling me?"
Exactly.
And then I was just like, they called me, and I'm just like breathing heavy. And it's like,
I'm like, what is this? And then when we get home to her, you know what I mean? All we see is like hickeys and you know,
I had one hickey. I had one hickey on my neck.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, and
we literally tackled
one
her
of our
to the ground.
One of our friends has that picture. She took a picture too of like the group of us because I was on my
Yeah.
couch hiding.
Yeah, because we're like, you know, we're like young, we're all like 19, 20, you know, we just jumped on her. We're just like, I see you, you just took a
So
there.
that was that. I came home and he texted me. He's like, "You left the bite on my neck too," and I'm like, "Shit, I had no idea. I had no idea that he did that." I was like, "Oh, wait." He sent me a picture. I left a mark. I left the hickey on his neck too. I'm like, damn. But the next morning I woke up and I'm like, oh Lord, like what the hell?
But what was it that made you ghost him after that?
He wanted to go to the movies and actually make out in the movie theater.
Oh, and it was just like really like cheesy, like wait.
Not even cheesy, but it was like the smoking thing. Like
just
that was the ultimate turn off
like,
for me.
I understand if you said, okay, invite me to want to see a movie, and then so happens that we end up making up.
Yeah.
But don't say that's
no, but he had flat out intention of like doing that again.
He just wanted to get it in.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get it in.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I stopped it. I had my kiss, I did it, that's done. But I didn't, but that was it.
Your services are no longer needed.
Got that. I got what I needed out of this. I got my ego boost. I'm good. I'm out.
Right. No,
I'm good to go.
So then that stopped for a while. Then I don't know. I met the second guy. He pushed me actually. He was like very pushy, like, oh, like we just started talking that day. He was like, "You want to meet up that weekend?" And I'm like, dude, I don't even know you're being consistent or anything. Like, you just want to flat out meet. I guess he was those type of guys that like flat out meet.
I mean, I'm actually that type of girl. Like, I don't like texting too long. Like, really,
but at that time I was young. I was like, wait a minute. And then I don't even know this guy. Like, really?
Yeah.
So we went to like a place 30 minutes away from me, and we just walked around and hung out. And like, he just flat out during our date was like flat out like, "Oh, I just want to kiss you." And I'm like, okay, well, let's get to the end of the date first, then I'll let you know. Yeah. And then so he walked me to my car and he kissed me and stuff like that. So then that was that, and he didn't text me back or anything. So I'm like, that. But we had
literally did the ghosting.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, there wasn't nothing like wrong. The one thing I don't like is silence when we're hanging out, like like when you got nothing else to talk about, that like irritates me. Mm-hmm. And we had a conversation going like the whole night, like everything was good and everything. So when he said he didn't want to talk, like when he didn't message me, I was like, all right, that's done. Yeah, like in a few hours wasted, that's fine. And then
I hear that.
The third guy out of like, I've only talked to 4 guys, but like met 4 guys, but the third one, he was nice, sweet, everything.
What's his name?
I'm not gonna say his name. I know his name. I'm not gonna put him out because I don't know if he's ever gonna catch this.
So he's
he might.
Yeah.
He might.
He might. And we went to the movie theaters, but it was just like, okay, let's go see Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad just came out at that point. And
that was shot in Toronto, actually.
Yeah. So
not that you guys care. I mean, it was shot in.
No, I
just thought I would say that. Just thought I would say it.
So we went to the movie theater. We had talked for a while. Like, I want to say about a good week or 2. Like, we were consistent. He was consistent with it. He had a good job. Like, he was good. Like, he was a nice guy.
A good week or 2. That's a while. Damn.
That's a while, yeah.
Okay. All right. Time's all right.
And at that time, I really had a thing for Spanish boys, and he was Spanish.
Ooh.
So
little Carlos.
It wasn't Carlos. You're gonna get got. But no, we met up. And he was there before me, and he bought my ticket already. And I was like, oh my God, you didn't have to do that type of thing. He was very nice. And he didn't drive. So I was young and I was like immature, and he didn't drive. He didn't have his license. He was like a New Yorker. He was like, I don't need a car.
Yeah. And then he comes to Florida and kind of like, it's like a slow start. Like, I have to drive now. Okay, let me try.
No, but he was taking the bus to work and stuff like that. But
he didn't think I have a problem with it because he's from New York, so that's normal.
Yeah, that was normal. But I understood it.
Yeah,
I understood it, and I think he was from New York too, so I understood it. So he took the bus. He was there before me. We went to the movies, and he was like holding my hand and stuff, and I was fine. And I had a jacket on, and he's trying to take my jacket off during the whole time. Like I already knew what was gonna happen, and I'm like getting annoyed because I'm just like, he knew what happened in my first date. Like, he knew about that, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna kiss you on the first date. Like, flat out, I'm telling you right now. Like, I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. But he was just kind of being pushy that way. And I'm like, no, see, you already made that move. And I'm like, I already knew what your intentions were, but that was it. The next day, I was kind of like slowing down texting, and we were just actually starting a new semester at that point.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Are you not going to talk to me anymore?" And I'm just like, I was just confused, you know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I thought you were such a good guy and stuff like that. Like, I let that mistake get to me so bad.
Yeah. So you see it as a mistake.
I see it as a mistake.
Like you honestly,
it was a communication thing. Like it truly was. Now that I look back on it, it was communication.
It's all communication things. That's what majority of the issues we're ever gonna run into are.
I was young. Like I flat out like regret the things that I did at that time. Like the decisions I made, and
the thing is that the decisions that we make and be done to like guys really does affect them long term, because it affects their next relationship. Like,
oh really?
Yes.
Oh really? You think?
Like, I know I have scarred a lot of people. Like, really. And I know that, like, growing up now, like, if you were to talk to me now, I know how to handle you. So I can send you off without you hating all women, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like girls, you're monsters.
So that happened. And then the fourth and last one that actually met in person.
Yeah.
Like, he was nice, he was consistent and stuff like that. And you know, on your profile, you flat out pick like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I don't have any kids. I don't want kids, whatever. At that time, and I'm still kind of on my decision, I don't want children. I've been flat out honest about that stuff. And when we were on our date, he has a twin brother. I kid you not. All he was talking about is how his twin brother's girlfriend doesn't want children. And they got into the girlfriend and the brother were getting into an argument and stuff like that. But I'm just like, why are you talking about this? And you clearly didn't read my profile, because I'm just like,
I know, like I just said, I
don't want children. So I was like, I'm gonna stop with the dating apps. And then the dating app came to the point where it kind of like social media, where it was just like that was the first thing I did in the morning, the last thing I did at night, and I would be at work on the dating apps, and
I got addictive.
It got consuming, and I just stopped. And
it's like shopping. It's like you're just shopping. You're just
put this in my cart.
Yeah, exactly.
It just got so toxic and like negative. And then a few years ago, in 2017 was my hardest year personally and in my family. I lost both my grandfather and my father within less than 2 months.
Wow.
And one was my grandfather was old, and that time came, my dad was unexpected. So that really messed me up mentally. And it really I'm still working on myself mentally, but
yeah.
I was just like, I'm done dating apps. I can't do it. It's toxic. I'm not ready. Like right now, I'm not ready. And I've always heard this quote saying that you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. And that's where I stay. But back then, my mentality was like, everybody's dating. Like, I'm ashamed that I'm not dating someone. But now it's just like, I really don't care what you think about me anymore.
like when you reach a certain age, and when she hits 25, she's really not going to get down.
But yeah, that's my experience. But right now, I'm not on anything or in the mood, like interested in doing it right now. Like I just
And to be honest, I'm really happy for Brii. I'm happy for myself, because right now I'm kind of like focusing on my stuff. Like my program that I'm in right now is very rigorous and very like tough, and it's just like, can I mentally give myself to someone else right now? No, I'm really selfish right now. I'm super selfish. And in relationships, you can't be selfish. Like you have to be open and willing to explore the other person. So, and you know, that's something I know now and everything. Like when everything's said and done, we're in our careers and everything, because we're getting ready for that now. That's when I know, okay, I'm ready for that. Like I'm ready to actually give myself to that, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a healthy amount of experience for the both of you and between the both of you, because it's not just like Tasha, you're going through your own thing, Brii, you're going through your own thing. You guys are going through it together, because you have an opportunity to talk about it together, and you're sharing your experiences and you're learning from each other. So it's almost like the two of you have seen all these guys, really, because that's what it's like with me and my boys when we talk about things. It's like he's telling me what he's experiencing and the type of women that he's dealt with. And so if I'm dating somebody that's kind of like his ex, it's like, so did this happen? And it's like, yes, this happened. It's like, oh, so I might be dating this girl that you dated. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're going through it together. So that's good, man. I'm glad you guys were able to share that, man. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, but I just think that when you're teenagers, I don't think they should be on dating apps. Now that I know that,
I mean,
it's not.
Just stay within your school realm
or like your area.
Because dating apps is tough. Like, my God.
I just think that when kids are
like teenagers, you get damaged so early.
You get damaged so early,
and now you're messed up for everybody else.
Yeah, now it's just like I regret it.
I guess so. It's
They get super addicted to us. It's just like having a phone. And then you have a dating app. So now they're like, okay, everything's deterring you from your schoolwork, first of all. Homework.
Well, they use the same, I think, like Tinder and Hinge and all those apps. I think they use the same type of tools that Facebook and Instagram uses to get you addicted to the app, right? The little dings and the little notifications and the dopamine hits and things like that. So I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. That's why you got addicted to it, Brie. That's why you were on it day and night. It's like exactly what they want. It's a science.
Yeah.
And then it's not even about dating anymore. It's about using the app as much as possible. And then sending you advertisements. And then if you happen to meet somebody that's like, yeah, sure, that's a byproduct of the formula.
Yeah. Like I think him the only one with the logo, with the slogan designed to
be deleted.
Yeah. I'm just like, why haven't I heard this slogan before? Oh yeah, because that's not really the intention.
Exactly. But then again, it's marketing. So they're saying that to get you to download it, to get you to use it, you know, so you never know. It's like when they say, it's like when you're buying food and it says farm raised. It's like, oh, farm raised. In our minds, we think of green grass and the open fields. But what do you think a farm is what you think a farm is different from what they think a farm is, right? A farm could be cages and, you know, tight spaces, but that's a farm. But they're going to say farm raised. And so you're going to think farm in your mind. Old McDonald had a farm. Oh, okay, I'm going to buy this, right? But that's just, I'm in advertising. So it's
the same thing with organic.
Yeah.
Organic. There you go.
It's like, oh, is it really organic?
Yeah. What's organic? What does that even mean?
Exactly. What does it even mean?
What does organic mean? Right.
I can't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, and like you guys shared with me, I guess I can share a little bit with you. Like I'm more of a relationship guy. You know, if I were to classify myself as anything, I don't really like to do the whole dating thing and dating around and all that. Despite what I said, when I'm on an app and I'm talking to multiple people, it's to have one person and date that one person. And I date intentionally, like on purpose. I call it dating on purpose. And I heard a quote the other day, and somebody said on another podcast, they said, if you're not ready to get married, you're not ready to date. Because what are you dating for? Are you dating to have fun? Yeah. And I don't know if I agree with that. It's, you know, maybe you can grow with a person. That's a little bit too precise. Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of dating. I've had maybe in my 20s. I sound so old. I feel so old saying that. But in my 20s, I think I've had 4 girlfriends. 1, 2, 3, 4 girlfriends. 2 years, and a year, and maybe like another 2 years in there somewhere. And you know, looking back, if I could say anything to like 22-year-old Dre, I would just say stay single. Stay single.
Oh my God.
Stay single until you're about 28.
Wrong with staying single. No. I wish people wouldn't put so much pressure, especially on females. Like we get so much pressure on like being single. I'm just like trying to navigate. Like I don't really care what you guys think. It's about my happiness, and I'm not going to be with anybody that doesn't make me happy. Period.
And you know, she's Jamaican. I'm Guyanese, so we come in a Caribbean household where it's just like, okay, you gotta be married.
You gotta be married
this age, and
have kids.
Look at your cousins and stuff like that. Like
it's always like look at everyone else, and it's just like no, I'm gonna look at myself. I look good today.
Yeah.
Brie, how are you Guyanese? And I don't see no gold on you anywhere.
I got my.
Oh, okay. There it is. That's Guyanese AF. That's Guyanese. Okay, there we go. And it's by the way, it's curry chicken.
Oh,
by the way, it's curry.
No, first of all, I won that poll because she won that poll.
By the way,
she won the second one with the animals, but I won that one.
Look.
We can't speak right now. I would not engage.
Look, it's curry chicken. You can't chicken. You can't chicken the curry.
Get off the.
Okay, I know this is a debate. It's been going on for years. I know. I'm just gonna. It's okay. Cool. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that's kind of my dating past. I mean, my thing that I've failed with is that I've stayed a little bit too long in a relationship. You know, I don't know if this is something that you guys have dealt with. I don't know if this is something.
Wow, I never, like that's a interesting perspective. Like I stayed too long.
Yeah. Yeah, because and where do I want to go with this? When I say I stay too long, I mean I think we get to a point where we're in a relationship with a person and our practical mind and our emotional mind are not in harmony. So what I mean by that is you will know looking at something that, like, let's take it completely out of context and you're at IKEA, you're looking at a couch. You love the couch. It looks great. It's a great color, but it's too big. You know, it's not going to fit in your place, but you buy it anyway. And then you bring it into your place and it doesn't fit and it looks wrong. And it's just like, and then you have it there and you eventually end up selling it, or it just doesn't work. And it's just like, you knew all along that this thing was not going to work because your intellectual mind and your emotional mind were not in harmony. Mm-hmm. So sometimes with me speaking personally, I've been in a relationship with somebody that I really, really adored as a human being. I thought they were amazing. I thought they were incredible. We got along, we had good chemistry, but it just wasn't going to work no matter what. And it's like fundamentally we had different, we had things that just didn't align culturally. We were different, you know, we had different upbringings. We have different interests and hobbies and things that I like to do. I know that I can't necessarily do this with this person. And there are things that they have that I don't rock with. And I know that we're not going to align on those things, but I like them. So I stay with them. But then these things are just kind of there and it just lingers. And then eventually it tears apart at the relationship. And then 4 years in, it's like, it's just not going to work. And I knew all along. Like I have a friend right now who's dating somebody. They've been together for 4 years. And I've known him for maybe like 3 years now. And every time I talk to him about the relationship, he's like, oh man, like, I just don't know if I want somebody who does this and doesn't do that and can't cook and does. And I'm like, yo, bro, listen, man, it's 4 years. It's been 4 years. What else in this world can you do for 4 years and not be sure about it?
For real.
First of all,
oh my God,
I would be so pissed off. If you said that to me, like if you were that friend, like you've been with this person for 4 years and you don't know.
You don't know. That is absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
I was talking.
And imagine being the girl, like, and then you come to me saying, "Listen, I still don't know what. Give me what?
Like we've been together for that long, and now
you're gonna say something? I'm gonna think you're dumb."
I mean, but is it okay though? Is it okay to be in a relationship with somebody for multiple years and not know? Is that okay, or is that unacceptable? I mean, you said it's unacceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
Why? Brie, tell me why.
Really getting to know that person, like me, like within 4 years, I really knew Brie. You know what I mean? Or like whoever you're with, and it's just like, what kind of conversations are you having? Mm-hmm. Like this whole time, are you even talking? Are you even like getting to know each other? Do you guys even have anything in common that's like, you know, something that is just so important that you wouldn't, you know, jeopardize
if it's
that?
Still coming up in your mind, like
I know, like
if this person doesn't do this or this person does, like, can I live with that? I'm like,
and how's the sex? Like, I really want to know. Like seriously, like you still don't know. Like, come on now. Like,
how important is sex in a relationship?
I wouldn't say it's that important, to be honest.
It's not important.
No, not that important.
Not that important.
When it comes to like personality. But I definitely think that, you know, if he doesn't know after all this time, he didn't leave, I'm guessing it's sex. Because
he didn't leave.
Yeah, like for real. Like I know people who stay in relationships and it's just because of that.
Yeah.
Literally. It's like, oh my gosh, like I don't really like you, but I like you.
So sorry, go ahead, Brie.
No. I was just gonna say that, like, if you're 4 years with someone, mm-hmm. and I'm gonna assume he's around your age. I'm just gonna assume that. And whether you are looking for marriage or don't look for marriage, whatever the case may be, are you gonna spend the rest of your life with this person? You're still having doubts about that? Like, that's what's confusing me. Mm-hmm. Like, and you're not communicating that to that person, the other person. Like, mm-hmm. you know, these are things that I'm noticing. Like, are these going to change?
Yeah.
Or are we wasting our time? Like, it just, there's so many questions I have in my head.
Yeah.
For that.
I just want to pick at him. Like, seriously, like get him on.
No, because it really does bother me, because if I was if I was your friend and I was having doubts 4 years in a relationship and I'm still having doubts, like, oh, I don't know if I can be with this person because they can't cook or whatever the case may be. I'm like, 4 years later, like, okay, if it's a few months to a year, I can understand.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if you're 2+ years going on, then there's something else.
There's something
else
keeping you there.
Who knows?
You need to find out what it is.
Or it could be sex. It could
honestly,
or he just doesn't want to look for someone else.
Or he doesn't want to be alone. And that's the scary part, is that people who don't want to be alone
and they just
can't stay by themselves.
And they just settle.
Or it's pride.
Or pride.
I can't fail at this. I can't fail. What? No, I have to make this work. It could be pride. It could be a lot of things.
There's a lot of things, but
or maybe the person scares them. They don't want to break up with them. I know some scary people. They were like, I don't want any confrontation. Yep. I'm not going to break up.
There's many reasons.
Yeah, for real.
Yep. Earlier, Tasha, you said something really interesting, and I wanted to bring it up and chat about it before we get out of here. But you said that you yourself and Brii are independent women. Now, my thought on independent women, now hear me out. My thought on independent women is that the rise of independent women, not like the Beyonce independent women, I could pay for my own things, like the rise of independent women, like I don't need anybody, I could do my own thing, I don't need anybody for anything. I think that is a problem in relationships. And the reason I think that that's a problem in relationships is because I feel like a lot of women out there have this mentality, because women have been so dependent, I guess, on men over the years, oppressed or dependent on men over the years. You guys relied on men for this, relied on men for that now women have started to gain a sort of independence that, hey, we don't need men to pay for us. We don't need men to buy our clothes or buy our car or buy our house. We can do it all on our own. That you're forgetting to be women and men are forgetting to be men. Now, what I mean by that is,
please clarify.
I'll make sure.
Clarify.
What I mean, what I
want to hear this.
what I mean by that, and this is a conversation that I would have with like some of my girlfriends, like, because I just I want to have it out. But what I mean by that is, there's nothing wrong with men being men and women being women. And what I mean by that is, like, men being the providers and women being the facilitators. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, like emotional support and men being emotional supportive, but also being able to provide. Sometimes when people get into relationships, and then maybe this has happened to you guys, I know it's happened to some of my friends, where the guy feels like, hey, look, I want to be able to give to you. I want to be able to provide for you. A man will do 3 things for you when he is really, really interested in you. He will protect, he will profess, and he will provide. Okay. He'll protect, he'll profess, and he'll provide. So if you're taking away one of those things, you're taking away his ability to provide for you because you're an independent woman and you could do it all yourself and you don't need him for anything. Well, what is that going to do for him? Now, you can say this is pride and this is ego and whatever it is, but you have to understand that there are certain scientific things that are built into our anatomy as human beings that still need to be there. And just because you've developed a certain independence and a certain will, that doesn't mean that you cannot allow the man to give you things. That doesn't mean you can allow him to cook tonight. That doesn't mean that you can allow him to pick you up after work. Just, you know what I mean? Like, do you hear me?
Yeah, I completely understand.
You see what I'm saying?
To dig into this.
No. I get what he's saying, and I understand what he's saying. But me personally, I'm a type of person. I'm an empathetic person, and I can see both sides. Whether you're right or wrong, no matter who it is, I can see both sides. So I see where you're at. And with me personally, when it's time for me to look for somebody and all that stuff, I know who I am as a person. And me personally, I'm in a point where in my life where I don't need a man. I just choose to be with someone. Like, I want one.
Great. Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with it. There are women who are dependent on men. There's women who are independent, and there's just someone who can do 50-50. Nothing wrong with that. You do you, boo. That's your life.
Yeah.
Me personally,
I think you're definitely a 50-50 person.
I'm definitely
like he is. You're gonna be used. Like,
yeah.
if your whole worry is not being used, you will be used.
No, like,
absolutely, we are gonna call on you for help and all those kinds of things. Because I definitely believe in like support in other aspects. Love, as in like, hey, can you cook tonight? Oh my God, can you massage my back? Like this, that, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for that.
The 50-50. And I just think that,
and vice versa. I'm not just gonna,
and it comes back to the communication and the intentions.
Yeah, and knowing that.
Because if you're on the same page, then it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's gonna work.
And
absolutely.
communication. Okay, let's just say, okay, I had a bad day. I don't want to deal with it. Don't want to do this. I don't want to cook tonight. Don't like, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought I would just like simply, hey, like this is what's happened. He already knows. It's like, okay, then maybe I'll cook dinner or I'll go buy something to eat or whatever the case may be. Like, it's communication at the end of the day.
And knowing one's love language too.
Love language.
Believe it or not, my love language is gifts. Like if you give me stuff, I think you love me. You must love me.
Mine is quality time.
Quality time.
I'm a quality time guy too. I'm a quality time
I want to spend time with you no matter what we're doing. Like I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
But coming on that, it's communication at the end of the day. Like you're starting a relationship, you're with someone. What are the expectations of each other? Like, are you guys going to rely on one another 50-50 or is one person to be more than the other?
Yeah.
Now coming to the point of independent, like open my door, pay my bill or something like that. I'm the type of person where it's like, you meet me halfway type of thing. Like, okay, you pay for this bill, I'll pay for the next one. Or if we're going to dinner first and then we're going to the movies, you pay for dinner, I pay for the tickets or vice versa. That's how I am personally. And even with my friends, like, okay, they buy something one night, I buy the next thing one night. Like that, it's just something that's just how I was raised personally. So that's how I like to do things. Now, if I'm going to be with someone that's like, okay, no, I got this 100%. I'm going to open your door or I'm going to pay for this bill. I got this like 100%. Then I'm going to have to sit you down and be like, listen, that's not how I am. I understand that's you. I get it. But if this is going to be an issue, then we need to end it. Or if we can work on it and come to compromise, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I'm 50-50 in those things.
Exactly. And I had guys that literally, like for instance, the last guy I was dating, he wanted to pay for everything and so I ended up surprising him and paying for the movie date. He was like, I don't like that you did that. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was just like, I don't know. And I don't know, in his mind, maybe he thought that this was turning into a friendship and not a relationship anymore. So for me, I was like, I didn't get the chance to really like say much and everything because like he did die suddenly. But like for me, I wish I had a chance to literally tell him like, hey, like I'm not trying to take anything from you. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's because I'm doing 50-50. You did pay for dinner. Dinner is expensive. All I did was pay for the movie.
Yeah, and like see that's a problem. That's a problem when the person is not allowing you to provide or to give back or actually do the 50-50 thing. Cause I'm a 50-50 person as well. And I think a lot of guys have a hard time with that. Is like, I had a girl
I think that, like you said, it's a thing because it's like how you grow up in the gender role, gender expectations,
stereotypes.
It's like here, like I'm man, hear me roar type of thing. Like there's some men who take so much pride in that. Yeah. And it's like there are women who accept that, and there's women like me who don't accept that.
Absolutely.
Like being 100%.
And I know the reason why girls are I understand where independent women are coming from when they say like, oh, they're coming from like half the time they come from a really hurt place. They've seen their parents, they've seen their mom pretty much, like for instance, my mother, like she was very dependent on my father. You know what I mean? To the point where it's just like, you don't have to say mom, it's daddy. Like daddy has to say, he's the one provided at all these things. And it was when my mom, because my mom's now an independent woman, what I would like to call her. And she, now that she has her own thing, she's able to like speak up more. I never, see my mom so independent in her life. And it's all because like her and my mom, her and my dad separated. So it's just like a lot of those girls are coming from backgrounds like that. And that's the part where it's like, man, like if you end up dating an independent woman, you're going to have to really like open her up inside, because if she's allowing you to buy something for her, because she trusts you, you not to use that against her one day, like, oh, I bought this, you better get.
And that's another thing why I say 50-50, because I'm not doing that thing where we get into an argument. It's like, oh, I bought you this, I bought you that.
I know, like, because those things come up when you're having a heated fight. Like, imagine if you were paying everything, like bought the house. And now she's all like, I'm not cooking dinner. What you like, you know what I mean? Like, you're cooking dinner. I bought this house. I bought your clothes. Like, you know what I mean? And that's where those girls are coming from. So you have to be gentle and really like pry them open.
Compromise in communication. That's just the biggest thing. That's where it comes back to, is communication.
And taking time to deal with it, because it's like, that could really deter your relationship and everything, especially if you're like yourself, like 50-50 type of person. And she's like, I don't want you paying for anything. No, you need to sit her down and say, okay, so tell me about your parents. Like, tell me about your life. Like, you're going to find out a lot of things. and you tell her like, hey, I'm not your father. I'm never going to use any of that against you. I'm never going to make you feel like less just because I'm doing more.
Communication, and if you're willing to compromise, okay, then it can work. But if you know flat out that's not going to change, then you have the decision to leave if you want. So
got it.
It's the biggest thing for me
personally. Got it. Hear that. I have 3 more questions for you guys. Okay. And this is just advice. I want to know from a female's perspective, a couple things. So the first thing here is when you first meet a guy, whether it's on a dating app, whether it's through friends or whatever it is, what are some red flags that are just absolute no-nos when you run into them with a guy?
Red flags.
You have so many.
Give me. I know that there could be a lot of red flags. Give me 5.
5.
Try to narrow them down to 5 red flags.
Why don't you say mine and I'll say yours? Or like at least half of it, because I can tell you.
Well,
smoking's one of yours.
Smoking is one of mine.
Smoking what?
Like
Let's clarify.
Any kind of
there's vaping, there's the Juul, there's weed, there's cigarettes, there's
anything.
Listen, if it's medical marijuana, like if you actually have something going on, fine, I'll accept that. But other than that, I'm not for it. I'm not that type of person. I don't do those type of things. At one point I used to do hookah, but I stopped that. Mm-hmm. But it was just like, if I see you're heavy and you're addicting to those things, or even drugs, I don't do drugs. Absolutely not. I've never been that type of person. I will not put up with that. That stuff, heavy drinking, that's a red flag for me. Like if you got to drink like every day, all day, like
we're not being like, like
father actually. And my father was, whether he admits it or not, before he passed away, he was an alcoholic for real. Mm-hmm. And when you grow up with that and you see things, you're like, it definitely turns you off completely. So I don't mind social drinking or anything like that, but heavy drinking is definitely a red flag for me.
Okay.
Smoking is definitely the thing. Medical marijuana is the only thing I would be fine with. Other than that, I don't. That's not my thing.
Okay.
Another red flag.
Yeah, 3 more.
I don't know what else.
Smoking, drinking.
What else? Smoking, drinking.
Okay, give me 3. Give me 3 then. Smoking, drinking.
Okay, let me try to think.
I'm trying to think what else. What red flags?
Man,
there's so many though, but I can't think of it at top.
Kids. If he wants kids.
Yeah,
that's a red flag because like of everything.
Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit. It's just that I'm still at a point where that's not my decision to have children. You know what I mean? It's out of my hands. And listen, if he has children from a previous relationship, I can't. I mean, that's fine, but don't expect me to have children. Like if that's a decision and you're willing to stay with me because of that, or even just date, like even having a first date I don't even want to bring that up on a first date, but if it pops up, it pops up. But that's a thing. But I mean, there's so many others, but right now I can't even think. So I brought my 3. You brought your 3. You bring your thing.
So Tasha, what are your red flags?
My red flags would have to be, if you're really, I'm just gonna be really generic, like boring. Like, cause me, I'm really awkward around boring people. Like I get so bad, and I'm even awkward on here too. But like it gets even worse.
If the conversation's not flowing.
If it's not flowing, I start stuttering. I would start looking really bad, and it's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna excuse myself. Like I just cannot be with somebody who doesn't have substance. Mm-hmm. And then a second thing would have
really quickly though. Have you ever heard the saying, "If you're bored, you're boring"?
Oh my God!
Because bored.
I know I heard of that before, but the thing is that when I talk to people, I talk a lot. You can tell that I'm a talker. You know what I mean? I can talk for a long period of time, but there comes a time when there's nothing coming back from you, and it's just like, and it starts throwing me off because I'm like, okay, am I talking too much? And then when I get into my head, that's when I start like malfunctioning.
When we had our fight and I gave her the silent treatment, she was not okay with that.
I do. Oh my God, I'm not okay with silent treatment. I'm not okay with like quietness. I'm just like, speak, please, or I will fill the spaces, but I can only do it for so long. So I'm just one of those people, but that's a huge red flag for me. Cause then I'm like, people like that don't make me happy at all. And I'm all about like, I'm with you to be happy. If you're not making me happy, then you're just like, there's no point to this. So that's one thing. Oh, you have to be funny because I mean, you don't have to be like super funny, but like I'm the type of person who will find funniness in like, you know, a normal person. Like you're not trying to be funny. You probably don't even think you're funny, but I think you're funny. So to not have that kind of essence about you, that's like makes me laugh. Cause I don't like being too serious around anybody. So if I can't make a joke with you, if I can't like laugh with you or talk about something stupid, it's kind of not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna start tensing up. And once that happens, it's kind of like down here from there. Either you're gonna ruin it or I'm gonna ruin it. Period. You know? So that's a huge one. And then the last one, I guess, would be
arrogance, cockiness. Like there's nothing.
Oh my God, I hate cockiness. Oh my God, please be a nerd. Be weird, please. Like you don't have. I would not judge you if you were just like a strange person. Like if you like anime or you like, you know, video games.
What's wrong with anime?
You know, like,
she's the anime person.
Exactly. Like absolutely.
No,
like be weird. Like oh my God. So I if you're trying to be too cool. Man, I don't connect with too cool. I just don't.
No, I'm not with that huge
Please open
ego.
up. And they always act that way in the beginning. They act so cool. And it's just like, I'm not. I just want to tell them, like, because some people, like, I have heard that, like, some people get intimidated when they talk to me. And I'm just like, I just want to tell them straight up.
That too.
I just want to tell them straight up, I'm a weirdo. Please, like, loosen up, please.
Okay. Was that two? So boring, funny. They can't be boring. They have to be funny. So I guess if they're not funny, that's a red flag for you. And then the last one was
the cockiness.
They cocky, inauthentic.
Cool. Yeah.
If they're being okay. All right. Cool. Second one for you guys is, how do I know I'm on a dating app? Maybe I just started talking to a girl. We're seeing each other a little bit. How do I know that she likes me? How do I know that she's like really into me?
Oh, she's consistent, like for real. Like she'll keep texting you, and the things that girls, we check our phones like back to back. So if you text her,
like the simple
and then she texts
things,
you,
like it's just like the simple things, like good morning, how are you,
you know,
like
what I mean?
stuff like that. Oh, good night.
Consistency is huge, like huge good thing. Like if you see that, then it's like, oh wow, she does like me. Like she's keeping up. And she's continuing the conversation after you say okay.
That's another big thing.
Like that's
me.
huge.
Like if you're continuing the conversation, like it's not just one sided.
Exactly.
That's like an amazing thing.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly.
And if actually does want to meet you and everything, but please don't ruin the day, because she's really putting a lot of faith in you if she's saying like, I want to meet you.
Whether it's like, oh, let's do FaceTime or let's meet in person or let's talk on the phone, like that.
She's giving you the benefit of the doubt, like this is your chance, do not ruin it, because it's on Tinder, so you don't have to meet with these people. So if you decide to meet with them, they're like, okay, she actually does like you. And if it doesn't work out, it most likely is because of you.
Damn, Tosh.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Mean, unless it is her, then you know.
Yeah, but no, being consistent. I think that's being consistent and wanting to like be like, hey, can we like text or even giving your actual phone number? That's
actual phone number. That's huge. If you get her actual phone number and not WhatsApp.
Yeah, I was always very hesitant of giving my phone number out.
Yeah, like only to the people that you honestly trust, because that shows trust. And it shows that she actually does care, and she wants you to have like personal contact with her and everything. So
if a girl, and this is something I want to ask actually. So if a girl gives me her Instagram and not her phone number, is it the same thing?
No.
If I see you on the street, if I see you at the grocery store, and I'm like, hey man, I think you're really pretty. I want to get to know you, and you give me your Instagram.
No.
Not
okay.
I don't.
That's not good.
First of all, for even people to do that,
I know, because I remember. There was this guy at when I was working. This is back in like when I was working at Universal and stuff. And he was harassing me for my number, and I was like, "I'll give you my Facebook." I don't use it at all. That's a cop out. That's like an easy escape, because like you don't necessarily have to.
First of all, if somebody's giving you their social media, it's like clearly they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Is it because you put your pictures up? You know,
you can have fun with that if that's enough for you. My picture,
and I can still contact you. I can still DM you. I could call you. I could still video chat.
I mean, but the things that she can escape from you easily by just blocking you. I mean, like of course you can block her at your number, but if you actually get her phone number, dude, she thinks you're hot.
Like, it's definitely like, okay, this guy is like, okay, I'm going to give him a chance.
I never went to my girlfriends and say, oh, this guy just like came up to me and I gave him my Instagram. No, I never said, no girl has ever talked like that.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I mean,
I believe you. I believe
like, I mean, there's outliers everywhere.
Yeah, but me personally, I would, no, I don't. Listen, if that's your cup of tea, then, but
I'm just saying, if she does give you her phone number, that's 100%. You don't even have to question that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have that. I don't really have that problem. I mean, I collect numbers.
Hey.
I collect.
Good job.
And the last thing I want to ask you guys, expert advice from the Girls Night Unwine. What are some things that guys don't know about girls? Guys don't know that you want. Guys don't know that you need. Guys don't know that guys do all the time that women hate. Like tell me, give me a couple things. Give me a couple nuggets.
Let's spin out everything.
No, the one thing I can really think about because of TikTok, because I keep seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't like it when guys need to stop being so weird about women being on their time of the month.
Okay.
I see that way too much on social media, and I'm like, there's like that. I think that's really ridiculous and immature. Yeah. Like, if you're like, there's different ways of handling it, but if you're gonna get grossed out or not, like, be like, if she's like, babe, can you go buy me like tampons or pads? And he's just like, no.
Are these guys 17 years old? Like, who are these?
Yeah,
guys?
I've seen adults. I've seen grown men
acting that way.
Like, there was one TikTok. I don't know what happened. This grown man.
No, he was. I think it's the one you sent me recently, and had the girl with the whole bat with the nails on it.
No, not that one. No. There's a TikTok that went around, and it's this man who, women, we have vaginas. There's discharge that come out of our vaginas. Yeah.
Okay.
He outed his girlfriend on social media about like her underwear. Actually showed her underwear like with all her stuff on it.
I know you didn't send me that one.
I didn't, but it was like on my TikTok.
So rude.
And he was like just making fun of her, and I just was like that. And a lot of women were like, "That's just the human body. Like, that's women's body. We go through stuff like that."
And it gets worse when we're pregnant.
Yeah.
So with your baby.
So it's just like that's the one thing that really comes up in my mind. Men need to stop being so mature about women's bodies and what happens in women's bodies. Okay. And don't make fun of them, because I'm like, if it was the other way around, would you really want us to make fun of you?
You would be hiding underneath a rock if it was the other way around. Like, seriously. It's such a personal time and everything. She needs care and nurture. She needs snacks. She needs soda. Like, come on.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's the one thing that really pops up in my mind. Like, men need to know about. It's just like, it happens to the women body. It's natural. We don't ask for this. Like, we don't ask for it.
Really like don't understand why God bestowed this upon us. Like, we're not that child.
Especially if you have like moms and sisters. Like, why, like, women in your life? Like, why do you have to act like that? So I think that's just the one thing about me. Like, don't act like that.
Okay.
Please, that's your turn off.
Because even adult, like grown men, I'm seeing on these things like acting like that. I'm like, okay, clearly this is.
Okay, so appreciate the time of the month. Appreciate the female anatomy.
Yeah. I understand that it's just the body.
Yeah, it's just the body. And another thing is that something that I've dealt with. The reason why I've ghosted and stuff like that with guys is that, like, I feel like there's a fear with guys, and when it comes to girls. Like, it's like you guys kind of either tense up or you guys don't, like, shoot your shot or something like that. And it's like, for me, I see like really like guys I would love to like talk to and meet up with. And it's just like, okay, I mean, I guess I'm the type of girl who waits and like, you come over here. You know what I mean?
You don't make the move. You want them to make the move.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're trying to say.
But now it's turning into a thing like the girl has to make the move and everything. And I'm like, okay, I get it, like 50-50, whatever. But like, let's say that girl has always been making the move and this time she wants you to make the move. You know what I mean? And it's just like that fear that they have. I think it's like really intense because like,
I get it.
Yeah, like a really intense like fear they have, especially with girls they actually like. And it's like, no, like she really does want you to come up to her and actually like, not no text, don't just like have a generic conversation. Just be really like upfront, like, hey, I think you're beautiful. Can I like see you? Like, can I you want to go on a date this Saturday? Or like, can I get your number? Like, I just start with a compliment and then really just let her know. And that way she'll be like, okay. And don't be butthurt if she says, no, I'm sorry. Or if she lies and says, I have a boyfriend, or, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like he's just confident.
Okay. All right. I'm starting to see what kind of girl you are, Tasha. I'm starting to see what you about.
Oh God.
Hey, you learn a lot on this podcast about me and Brii.
Yes.
We're very authentic people.
Yeah, you guys definitely are. Definitely are. Hopefully I don't see another episode about a fight though.
No.
You guys are past that. You guys are past that now.
We're past that now.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be new fights. When one of you gets a boyfriend and then you stop talking to the other one because of it. That's the new fight.
Woo!
That's gonna happen.
I pray that doesn't. Don't you jinx
It
us.
happens. I'm telling you, it happens. Man, you know how many friends.
Happens, but
Yep.
I feel like
Do you know how many friends I've lost to relationships?
I feel like
Many.
okay, so I have a
Many.
theory with that one because like my
Let's hear
sister
it.
lost all her friends over her relationships.
Toya?
No, not Toya.
Not my relationships, but my not my relationships, but my friends' relationships.
Yeah.
Like they got a girl and it takes up all their time now.
Yeah. And the thing is that like juggling, because me, I'm not the type of person who's really on you like that. I treat my relationships like I do my friends. Like I don't have to text you every day. I don't have to be around you every day. I can do my me time. Like I don't need that and everything. So it's about like being able to like take people that you care about, put them all in like a little like bowl, whatever, and like, you know, take like this person this day, this person that day. It's just really about showing care to everyone that you want in your life, because guess what? The ones who don't, you know, care about, they're gonna leave. They're not gonna stay. I know for a fact that if Brii ever, you know, put her relationship over me, I'm not gonna be there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, I value myself.
I've been the friend receiving
exactly
where I had another friend who was in a relationship and it changed that person completely, and it kind of did affect our relationship, our friendship.
Right.
So I've seen that. So it's like you know, it's crazy enough. I've seen so many things that I know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like, man, I see so many people burn up. I just don't want to, like, you know, I learned so much, but I guess you never really know until you're in
the situation
and stuff. But I just feel like we were better off than they were when they first, you know, because they never got that chance to see the other side and everything. But the main thing is just like being able to, and don't bring your girlfriend or boyfriend everywhere. Like, be able to be by yourself. Like sometimes your friends want to talk about stuff or want to talk about them, but about you, about that person. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna open up about, you know, your boyfriend when your boyfriend's right there. Like, come on, like this, when it comes to girl stuff, like absolutely not. He's not.
Space is important.
Yeah, knowing how, and the thing is that they don't, like my sister, she literally lost like a lot of her friends because of it. And it's like, girl, like, and he's not even gonna stay that long. So now you lost really good friendships for people that's not gonna stay that long. I just don't understand that. Like, it's really sad, to be honest. So
I hear that.
It's the truth.
Yeah. I don't want to be ended like that. So I guess that's gonna be the only thing that scares me to not making that happen, because there's no way I'm gonna lose my friends. Like,
well, we'll see.
I think that's just the biggest thing, is that with us, our communication has been better.
Yeah.
So if it ever comes to that point, I will sit her down, or I'll call her and be like, hey,
we don't
this
wait.
is what you're doing.
We feel something immediately, we will come up to you immediately and be like, listen, this is how I feel. Because we obviously, our fight ended that way because we didn't speak up immediately. So that's how we are. And I'm pretty sure both my friends, Michelle and Brii, would definitely sit me down and be like, listen, you are spending way too much time with him. I need my time next.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends like that, because I've definitely gotten lost in the vortex of like, okay, this is a new relationship. I'm trying to make it work, and you grow it, right? You need to water it. It's a plant. So you give this a little bit more water because you've already established your friendships already. They know who you are. They know you're not going anywhere. I'm just working on something. And you need friends who understand that, and friends that can check you. Friends that can say, yo, Tasha, you've been spending a lot of time with Jimmy.
So.
I don't know.
I don't like Jimmy.
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think of a name. Jimmy. Deshaun. What are some American names? Daquan.
We're not getting better with this.
I don't know. I'm not. I've been to Miami once, and I almost moved there. And
Really?
I actually almost moved there. I met some people in Panama. I was traveling. They lived in Miami. I came to visit them in Miami, and they're like, yo, we're starting this business, da 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 da. And I was like, I might just move here. It's warm all the time. You know, you guys got a beach, Nikki Beach. I love Nikki Beach.
Yeah.
I love South Beach. And then I actually I came back and I did the comparison. I did like because I'm not just gonna jump in and do something. I'm actually gonna do some research. So I did the cost of living, and I did like comparison of cities. Like what does it cost for groceries, for example, in Miami versus what it costs for groceries in Toronto? What does the education system look like? What is the crime rate? Those kind of things. And I did all of this analysis, and Toronto was just so much better. Toronto is just so much better.
That's what we're saying when I wanted to move to Canada, because it's just like you guys care about your people. Like,
I mean, yeah, the States just seems like, I mean, from this perspective, what is it? It's like we're living upstairs from a meth lab. upstairs on top of a meth lab.
I'll agree to it.
Oh my God.
You ever heard that before? You ever heard that?
No, but what's that one show with the guy who was making drugs? I forgot his name. I forgot.
Breaking Bad? Is that the one?
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Okay, the show, like one of the best shows of the last 10 years, no problem.
I know.
No.
But yeah.
The only thing I know about like shows over there is Supernatural. Like
Supernatural?
They filmed it in Vancouver. I'm all for it.
She's a Supernatural.
Well, look, anytime you guys want to come to Toronto, man, you know somebody now. I can show you around. I could show you guys. What's that?
Show us around. Give us a tour.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. Like, and when people come here, they love it. They don't want to leave. They want to move, or they just want to stay. And because everybody's cool, man. Everybody's like, open-minded, and we know what it's like from the media, what it's like in the States.
Yeah, it's tough over here, y'all. And the thing is that there's a lot of fake news and everything going on.
Yes.
No more.
No,
it's all about views, I think.
Yeah.
And learn that.
And it's just like, dang, like where do you get good information anymore? You gotta actually read. You can't just look. You can't just watch. You gotta read stuff to get the right facts.
100%. I want to thank you guys for your time. Girls Night Unwine, Brii, Tasha.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for your time, and we learned a lot. I know, Brii, I need to get you some quality time. I need to give you some quality time, Tasha. When you come up here, I'm gonna get you a gift. I'm gonna get you a little CN Tower, a little thing you could take home.
Right? Oh my God.
And be authentic and communication. And we touched on a lot today.
Yeah, we talked a lot. You got a lot out of us. Lucky you.
We touched on a lot. I'm gonna have some fun editing this, and I'll make some clips and get it to you guys, and we'll chat about it. Hopefully, we do this again sometime.
Absolutely. You know, message us. We keeping tabs on all the ones we like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just for my listeners, how can we support you guys? Where are you guys available? Are you, what's the IG, what's the Twitter, all of that? Let us know.
Well, our Instagram is at Girls Night Unwine. And then we have a TikTok account at Tasha and Brii. And then we have our email right now, Tasha and Brii at girlsnightunwine.com.
Yeah, if you want to email us, say hi. Just like
make suggestions.
Exactly. Suggestions. We always look forward to those. And so that's how you.
And then our podcast is mostly on Anchor.
Yes.
So are supporting us, like, I guess, give us a few bucks here and there if you want to. It's on there, and then the link is in our Instagram bios and all that stuff. So
absolutely,
and it's also on Spotify.
We're on all platforms. Our podcast,
Spotify, Apple.
Yep.
All that. Yeah. I think it was like a Google.
There's a Google podcast too. Yeah. But we're like, I'm surprised that we're like so like out there. We're on all platforms at this point. So I'm excited for that. So if you guys want to reach out, let us know.
You guys are so adorable. I just have to say, the two of you are just, you guys are so cute. even your thumbnail, your album art there in the background, you guys are so cute. Yeah, really enjoy talking to you guys. All right, man, I got to go get started with my day, man. I got to get lunch or something.
Right?
I need to eat.
Exactly, right?
Maybe go for a walk in this -4-degree weather.
Oh man, heck no. Stay inside.
I need to move, Tasha. I need to move, man. I need to do something.
Orlando. JK, we're just kidding. Orlando is not.
Don't come to Florida right now.
Trump is here.
No.
Oh my God.
Play golf with Trump.
No, the quarantine is okay. Worse over here. Don't do that.
I'll hit the driving range maybe. I haven't done a full game of golf yet, but.
Oh man.
But thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
No problem, guys. Let's chat soon.
All right, bye.